We move over here to our Seattle Storm. With this episode, we had a little difficulty, technical, earlier in the day. So if you watched or tried to watch the episode of Circling Seattle Sports on Converge, you'll notice that the audio was messed with. So we're doing this after the Storm game has taken place because I wasn't going to do it at the Storm game. The team hosted the Phoenix Mercury for one of two preseason games that they will take part in before the regular season. This one is the one that was open to the public at Climate Pledge Arena. May 8th versus the Mercury, a 77-71 loss to the Mercury. Our player of the game, forward/center. I don't know. I guess we'll go with that. Dulcie Fencom Mengiadu. Dulcie, who I was very high on in drafts, I figured, we'll leave it like that. Sorry. I'm planning ahead in the show. Had 10 points and 9 rebounds to go along with 1 steal and I believe it was 8 rebounds. Yeah, 8 rebounds and 9 plus minus. So Dulcie came out, had a nice game as a rookie. This was a game where a lot the starting 5 was interesting. It went Yvonne Turner, Jewel Lloyd, Kia Nurse, Mercedes Russell, and Ezzy Magbagor. But Noelle Quinn did say that she wanted to play a lot of positionless basketball, which was very interesting to see. The Storm jumped out an 11-0 run before Deanna Taurasi. Of course, it was Deanna Taurasi. Hit a three-pointer to end that run. Seattle played a good first half. They got good contributions from the rookies as well. No, not yet. Horston and Melbourne, Jade Melbourne, were able to help try to build up that lead at first. And then in the second half, the third quarter just killed Seattle. They couldn't get a stop. They were getting bad looks. On the offensive end of things, they only made 4 field goals, none of them from beyond the arc like they had. They attempted 25 threes. They hit most of them in the first half. And it was interesting because it was most of the Mercury non-starters who stayed in the rest of the second half. So it was tough. Again, it's preseason, and there are low expectations for this team already. But some of the individual performances are what really spoke to me. It was exciting to see Jade Melbourne out there to really go out there. She was very physical, as a rookie. She has played some pro ball over in Australia, but I thought she looked really good. And excited to see her run the point for Seattle this season. I thought Dulce looked great, great rebounding. Was most Seattle's offensive effort in the fourth quarter as they tried to attempt a comeback. And Jordan Horston was fun to watch, made a great sequence to score on one end and then help make a great athletic defensive play on the other. Saw a little bit of that athletic defense in that game. So it's exciting to watch that all take place. There were a few other contributions. I liked seeing Arella Garantes out there. Jasmine Walker had a nice second quarter. But so it was nice to see that. We didn't see Ivana Dojkic at all. She didn't play in that. Drew Lloyd was on a minutes restriction. So it'll be interesting to see what this team looks like in terms of the roster on day one against the Aces, who stays and who goes, because, you can't keep everybody from this current group on the roster. So, and it was funny. Head coach Noelle Quinn in the postgame said that it's going to be tough because, we don't know what it's going to look like right now. So, with talking about Horston, though, this is a perfect time for us to go and take a look at the player profile that we did on Jordan Horston in our Storm draft player previews, draft review, whatever you have it. If you want to watch the full thing, of course, you type into the YouTube search bar, Circling Seattle Sports. It's on our YouTube account. But let's look at Jordan Horston. We'll start with Jordan Horston, and I want you guys to talk about Jordan Horston because you guys actually saw Jordan Horston at the Seattle Regional here at Climate Pledge Arena. I believe they took on the Hokies, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
You guys were there. I want you guys to talk about it because you saw it first, but I know that when this happened, it was very much like, hey, Seattle wasn't supposed to get Horston. She was supposed to go higher. So why don't you guys take a look here into Jordan Horston and that pick by Seattle?
So I was excited by the pick. Again, we got to see Horston here in Seattle for the Seattle Regional. In what started kind of slow, I'm going to be honest. I was also kind of surprised when I during the draft when they announced Jordan Horston was a guard, because in the position that she was playing during that Seattle regional game, she looked so much more like a forward to me. So once I learned she was a guard, I was kind of taken back. But she did great in the second half, really kind of put the team on her back and was able to get into a rhythm. I'm looking forward to seeing her more in that guard role, because I just think that taking her out of that for that Seattle regional game might have messed up her rhythm. And that's maybe why it took her a half to kind of warm up. I don't know. What did you see? Do you agree
Uh,
or disagree?
I really do believe she's a versatile guard.
Sure.
Seeing her play against the Virginia Tech, she was able to against the Hokies.
Yeah.
She was able to get a good amount of assists, but she also rebounds the ball.
She does.
So she's really a two-way guard. She can play the defense and she can play the offense. It's exciting to see her paired up. I don't remember the team member that was also a high-scoring team member. It's good to see her paired up with another elite athlete on her team, because she really does shine.
And you're referring to Jewel Lloyd, or
It's exciting to see her come and play with Jewel Lloyd, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember the name of the lady from
Yeah,
Tennessee.
they were supposed to be a
It was
dynamic duo.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either, unfortunately. But yes, I mean, I love the pick. We of course we needed to address that guard position with, like you mentioned, Sue Bird retiring, and then Brianne January also retiring. So a lot of holes to fill, but I like you mentioned, having a versatile player that he can feed off of Joel Lloyd's energy and dish to Joel Lloyd to also give her good touches. I like it. I like the pick for sure.
And seeing that Mercedes Russell or Mercedes Russell's,
Ladies.
yeah, she's from Tennessee as well. So that alumni,
Oh,
she's going to
there
be
you
able
go.
to kind of help her out when she gets into the league.
So was it Rakia Jackson or Jordan Walker? Are either of those names poking out?
Jackson, I believe. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because looking at that game, that Seattle Regional, Rakia Jackson had 15, Jordan Walker had 12, but Jackson shot a good amount of more. Had more of a overall game as well. Yeah, no. You talk about combo. I mean, one of the things, and maybe you can play off of this, that I read with Horston was that she's very athletic. I mean, it's hard to look at any player and compare them to like how long Brianna Stewart was. That's a lot of length. But
Yeah.
Horston, a good facilitator is what I was told
Yes.
with this pick. And that's, I think you both mentioned it there. Playing with Jewel, so you've got Jewel Lloyd to play off of. You're not making Jewel Lloyd play point guard. Ideally, necessarily, because I know she can, but it's like you're looking for a true point guard,
Yeah.
or even still, maybe you have someone else there at point guard, and Horston's able to facilitate from maybe the 3 spot. I think that versatility is so big, and it was exciting to hear, like Matt said, a true two-way guard, and somebody I think goes. I want to ask about your realistic starting 5 at game 1, night 1 of this year. I think she, no matter what, regardless of the other 4, which Jewel Lloyd's going to be in there, I think Horston's in there. I think she has to be. This
agree.
is a Seattle team that hasn't had a rookie really do anything the last few years, as they continue to load up for Sue Bird's last dance. It didn't work out, but I mean, we haven't really seen a rookie, and it was really fun to, I don't know, to see that. Obviously fun to know that you guys saw that in person. But Reed, facilitator, good defender. And I mean, looking at this, stands number 1 amongst all true guards with the double doubles. So really effective in there as well. So just exciting to hear about that. And as I talked about in the Seahawks draft about, value and with Olatimi. And I mean, again, a lot of people didn't expect Horston to go this low. So it's good to get like a steal like this when you're in a rebuild, and again, you've just got to continue to load up. So I really like. I mean, it's really hard to, like with the Seahawks first round, hard to be angry with your first round pick here. I don't know if there's any I mean, I think it'll be fun to watch at minimum. Again, I don't know who fills in, who steps in the point guard spot, anything else, but seeing Lloyd and Horston potentially guarding the perimeter, that'll be fun because Drew Lloyd can play some damn good defense as we've seen before in the last few years. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, in basketball as a whole, like with the NFL and past games, the perimeter is such a big deal. And you're going to need to protect the perimeter. I don't care if you're going to have Drew Lloyd drop 40. If you can't if you can't guard somebody across the way who's going to do the same, it's not going to matter. Anything else on Horston?
Yeah, we mentioned her length, and I just think that's kind of what I'm looking forward to as far as like improvement is she's already so versatile that maybe she could add to her defense because she's already so lengthy that you play people at the three, you play those teams at the three. We're going to need to do that with the first game against the Aces. And she can really just add to that versatility. So it's exciting to see where she can grow. She doesn't necessarily have to do too much on the rebounds with the Storm, considering that McBagor is back. But it'll be exciting just for Ezzy to even have some help on the boards.
What I also think is really unique about her too is she's able to penetrate the rim,
Yep.
but also able to dish it out with her ability to assist. So she's gonna be opening up Jewel Lloyd quite a bit, and just people on the perimeter, down low at the block. So it's exciting to see what she can bring to the Storm.
Truly a steal for sure.
I mean, being able to dish it out is going to be so big, and you've got some playmakers. It's just so fun to have that because obviously with Sue Bird, even in her last years, she was still able to pass the ball. That wasn't a question,
Right.
But it's like now you've got this roster. I know when Kia Nurse was signed, the Seattle Times called her a point guard, but she's not a point guard. That's not what she's done. Jade Melbourne's in here, which I'm excited about. Jade Melbourne. She's not technically part of this year's draft class, but she's only coming to the Storm this year after they drafted her last year. And they said, play another year in Australia, keep developing, then come over here. And also because they didn't have the roster space. But you could add Melbourne into that. I think she gets some playing time, and I'll talk about that when we get to talking about the starting five. But Arella Garantes is also an interesting pick. She's more of a scorer from what I understand. They did sign Ivana Dojkic out of Dojkic, pardon me. She's a European point guard. So I don't know who's going to play the point guard is my point being, but I know that Jordan Horston, maybe that's the thing. Maybe Noelle Quinn says, hey, I don't have to put her in just one spot, right? I'm going to put this down here again, but maybe you see her bounce around playing the one, playing the three. I know Jewel Lloyd hasn't necessarily just stuck at the two all the time. I know that when Sue Bird's been hurt, she's had to play the one. So I don't know. It's just also what makes her so exciting with Horston is that length, that ability. She's not sort of limited like I don't want to. We'll get to Lovell in a minute when we get to Fic 4.
Is that the fourth that you?
Yeah. We're jumping here. We're jumping, but we'll get to it. It's exciting though. You've got length. You've got, like Matt was saying, the ability to drive to the rim, but also to facilitate. So I think she's a lot of fun. And like Belle said, it's a steal. And rebuilding going into this year probably won't make the playoffs and all that.
Be a tough year.
With the Liberty and the Aces, you're not making the finals, I bet, unless there's some gigantic upset. You need pieces to build off of, and there are, at the end of the day too, you need other names that are going to fill seats, and I think Horston's going to be a lot of fun to watch and be a highlight of the season easily. So after looking at Horston, we move ahead to the second contest that the Storm will play this preseason. This one is against the Los Angeles Sparks on May 14th down in LA, but it's a closed door scrimmage, so won't be broadcast. I don't believe media will be there, so it'll be interesting to see what information we get from that. We'll obviously report on what takes place as we can with that, depending on what Storm PR does or what the Storm decide to do, but it'll be interesting to follow along with that.